Well, ladies and gentlemen, it has been my pleasure to welcome my good friend and former colleague also as Foreign Minister, the High Representative Federica Mogherini to Helsinki. We traveled together from Brussels last night and already had good talks there. You have met the President this morning. We will continue with the Prime Minister. There will be a public meeting in the afternoon and we will conclude with dinner, and you will have also other engagements during the day. So it's a very, very busy day, and of course we have a very heavy agenda of items to discuss. But I would emphasize that we already have discussed how to develop the new security strategy for Europe, for the European Union, a task which is just beginning with the leadership of the High Representative, and we discussed the Ukraine Russia situation. But there are many things that we will continue with, obviously, since the world is full of problems, where the European Union is expected, and we expect, our people expect, that the European Union can and must play a positive role in solving and dealing with all the major issues we are facing. But I will leave the floor to you.
Yes, thank you very much. It has been a pleasure to meet you here. As you said, we were traveling together from Brussels. We will continue together tomorrow in Riga, where we have an informal ministerial meeting. As former colleagues, but also in my new capacity, we have many occasions not only to meet formally, but also to exchange views in between the meetings. I have to say that I have to thank you personally for the dedication, the commitment and the balance and the sense of unity of the European policies that Finland, through you, always bring at the European efforts to build a common vision on foreign and security policy, and we desperately need it in these times that are extremely challenging all around Europe, both East and South. But this visit for me is also a chance of meeting Finland somehow. I intended to start my mandate, and I'm now in the 4th month, by paying visits to all capital cities of the 28 member states. Because to me, there is no big and small east or south or west or north member state. We are 28, all together. And to me, it's important to visit and not only meet in Brussels or international conferences, to get the real sense of priority and also the real sense of wisdom that is there in different parts of Europe. And here for sure, I think we can learn from a special position, geographical position first of all, of Finland, the country that has the largest border with an important, for good or for bad, neighbor. And this sense of using the national capacities, the national analysis, the capacity to understand what is happening and make it not only a national capacity but also a European tool is something that we have to build more and more. And that's why it was important for me to start this morning with the President and with the Minister discussing mainly the situation in Ukraine and our relations with Russia. We focused our talks in particular on that, and in particular on the need to have the European Union as an active player for the implementation of the Minsk agreement, for the stabilization of the situation in the east of Ukraine, starting from the respect of the ceasefire, starting from the withdrawal of weapons, and also, and mainly I would say for the European Union as such, all the concrete measures we can put in place to support the Ukrainian internal reform process that is going to be crucial if we want to make life in the country sustainable and better for their own people. And this is going to be the challenge we will have to face even more than anything else. And again, let me thank Erkki, the Minister, for his full support in this month. It's always good to have around the table a country that is fully European. It is an added value that is extremely important in these days. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, you have now time for 2 questions. Please name yourself and your media, and please wait for the microphone first here.
Susanna Turunen, the Finnish broadcasting company Wiley. Madam Mogherini, has there been any discussions between the ministers about using the EU rapid troops somewhere along the border between Ukraine and Russia? They've been basically unemployed for more than a decade. What's the purpose for these troops then?
I would not mix the two elements. On one side, the reflection on the use of battle groups is a discussion that I am bringing forward. Personally, I'm very much convinced that we have to use the instruments that we have, and this is one of those that is provided to us. It's not the only one that is provided to us and that we don't use, especially in the field of security and defense. There are many possibilities, many tools that the European Union has to develop more its role in the neighborhood and in the world. And I'm committed to use them in the 5 years of my mandate, or to explore the possibilities with the member states to use them. When it comes to Ukraine, the discussions we are having, but we will discuss that more with the other ministers tomorrow, but we have started already the discussion here this morning, is to strengthen the OSCE mission that is already monitoring the situation on the ground, that is indicated in the Minsk agreement as the player on the monitoring side, and to give the OSCE the strength and the means to do it properly. We will discuss tomorrow again with all the other ministers what we discussed already today here in Helsinki on what concrete help the European Union can give. We are already providing, since the very first day of the Minsk meeting on the 12th of February, we are already providing satellite imagery to the OSCE for analyzing the movements on the ground. We are already providing armored vehicles for the security of the movement in difficult areas, and in-kind support, apart from the financial support. The support to the OSCE from the European Union and its member states is the largest, and we count on strengthening that even more. But it's the OSCE in this moment that is doing the monitoring. We have to make sure that it has more and more the capacity and the resources and the possibility to do it properly. Obviously, this is also linked to the need to have access to all areas, and this is something we are continuously requesting to the separatists and to the Russians to facilitate this access.
And the last question here.
Anna-Liina Kauhanen from the Finnish paper Helsingin Sanomat. Madam Mogherini, you have called for the revision of both the European security strategy and the neighbourhood policy. What are your goals there, and how do the Ukrainian crisis and Russian policy now frame that process?
Yes, it's the neighbourhood policy is almost 10 years old, and the last review was in 2011, and our neighbourhood has changed dramatically, both east and south. Now, we haven't underlined here so far, but Russia and the East and Ukraine are not the only issues that we have on our agenda. We have discussed, and we're going to discuss even more tonight, the situation in the south, the Middle East peace process, the situation in Palestine, the situation in Syria and Iraq, the threat of Daesh, the situation in Libya that is worrying every day more. And it's important that we are all together in this, no matter where a member state is located geographically in the Union, that we are united facing the challenges we have in the East and in the South, because the threats are common to all of us. But neighborhood has changed dramatically in 10 years, and we need to develop new ways of partnership, both East and South. And the purpose of the review is to understand with our partners in the East and in the South which are the best possible ways to have a political partnership based on an equal relationship, not so much a judgment of steps that they do on a progress. That was somehow initially the purpose. There is a goal, which is creating a stronger relationship, and there were progresses done on a way. The world has changed, the region has changed so much that now we need to develop more the political partnership and the political dialogue to face together challenges that are challenges for all, us and our partners. And we need to develop new tools to do that. So the process we are launching now is a process of common and reciprocal listening to our partners, first of all, to understand what they believe could be more helpful and more effective to deal with the current crisis we have in the area. And when it comes to the security strategy, an excellent exercise that was done by Solana more than 10 years ago, it's still a very much valid paper, but it starts by saying that Europe has never been so secure and so prosperous. And 11 years afterwards, we're definitely in a different situation now. So we have to engage with the full ownership of member states. And when I say member states, I don't only mean governments, but also civil society organizations, think tanks, the foreign policy community, the security community all around Europe, to understand what is our common interest, our common values. I hope the common values are very clear, but to make it emerge and fill the gap between the perception that there are national interests versus European interests. I think we have a common ground. If we are together in the European Union, we have good reasons for that, also mainly when it comes to foreign and security policy. And I think it is time that we have this exercise of making these common interests, common objectives, common strategies for the next, not 5 months, but 10, 15, 20 years. How does the European Union altogether want to shape the world of tomorrow? This is going to be the exercise that we are going to launch. And I would like again to thank very much the Minister personally and Finland for the contribution that they're ready to give to this process. I think that we will need a lot of strategic thinking. You ask how the Ukrainian crisis is framing this. It is obviously going to be an element, the fact that we have a different security environment around us. But I would like, and we discussed this very much this morning, I would like to have this exercise of designing, of shaping our strategy for the future, understanding that it is a way of asking ourselves, how do we want to shape the future of the world, starting from our region? And not so much, how do we react in the immediate term on facts that are produced by other dynamics? We need to be proactive, and we need to have a clear sense of direction. Because the European Union is, I tend to say that, and people tend not to believe it, but it is true. The European Union is a superpower on foreign policy. When it comes to development aid, when it comes to trade, when it comes to diplomacy, European Union and member states together, we are the major force. We can be the major force in the world if we just realize the tools we have and we use them at full. And we need to do it on the basis of a common strategic view, starting from the common perception, the common ownership of what is the European direction and the European interest when it comes to security.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.